Hi, I'm Terry Trumbull with Breathe California. My guest today is Rafael Reyes, elected to the Sierra Club board a couple of years ago internationally. I've had the honor of working with him for 10 to 12 years, one of the most sensational environmental leaders in this country. He's recently been active in his home city in a sustainable energy climate committee. These are all avant-garde, cutting-edge issues. What are we going to do to address our climate change problems, the fact that we're running out of oil and need to make changes? Lots of cities are getting smart and starting to do this. We're going to find out what they're up to. We're going to talk with Rafael, a true inside source, and learn what all of these not slightly, even remotely secret committees are doing. So join us in 30 seconds and we'll talk with Rafael about what you and I can do to protect ourselves against climate change and energy problems. Hi, I'm Terry Trumbull with Breathe California. My guest today is Rafael Reyes. In 11 years of doing the show, which until a year ago was called Environmental Concerns, Rafael's the first three-time guest. I think that's probably because he hasn't been able to get his message across the first two times. So we're going to make another attempt today to see whether he can convince you of whatever soap he's selling today. So let me tell you the tie-in. I'm the Environmental Health Director of Breathe California. We have two sets of programs. One is standard medical programs. If you've got breathing difficulty, lung difficulties, we help you with asthma training programs, what you can do to avoid asthma problems, what you can do to solve them, or to stop smoking, or to cope with breathing difficulties. But on the side that I'm involved with, we're trying to control air pollution, to make the air you breathe better. An example is yesterday, San Jose City Council agreed with us and banned smoking in parks. You know, you say it's out of doors, why in the world do you care? 50 feet away from a smoker outside, you get secondhand smoke that can impact your lung, and the impacts are probably 10 times as bad on kids. Or we're working to control wood smoke. You'll be seeing this show at the start of the session in the winter, and we violate air pollution control standards during the winter 2/3 of the days because of wood smoke. Pretty serious problem. And the area Rafael's going to talk about, we try to cut down on air pollution, eliminate carbon dioxide emissions, and save on energy. And so why in the heck are you here? We've seen you twice.
Well, Terry, thanks for having me on a third time. I'm honored to have that the title third time guest. One of the things that we're really working at with the Sierra Club's Cool Cities campaign is, as you said, trying to address, among other things, health issues that come up in the communities. You know, bad indoor air quality, bad outdoor air quality. These are things that can be solved by taking the same kinds of steps that we have to take to reduce our energy use and actually even stimulate the economy and great new technologies.
Well, you and I are environmental activists, and so words like cool cities and sustainability kind of roll off their tongues, but I suspect a good portion of our audience says, what in the heck are they talking about? I mean, they sound like new words and gibberish. So, you know, say what those things mean in plain English.
Well, Cool Cities is an initiative that the Sierra Club launched in 2005 following Mayor Greg Nichols in Seattle's national initiative called the Mayor's Climate Protection Agreement. And the Mayor's Climate Protection Agreement basically gets mayors to commit within their own cities to implementing energy efficiency and other measures to improve the quality of life, reduce energy use, and reduce pollution. And so the Cool Cities initiative basically empowers citizens all around the country to help the city they live in understand what the solutions are that are available to them. So here in the region, for example, we've got almost 20 teams that are all volunteer citizen teams working with their cities to encourage them to make this kind of environmental progress.
Well, kind of what's the point in all this? You know, Al Gore, as vice president representing the Clinton administration, was part of negotiating the Kyoto Protocol. 174 countries have signed this, but we've got a president that doesn't agree with it and isn't doing anything. So
You're right.
What's the benefit if the country is not committed to?
Well,
doing it?
if we really look at the problem of climate change, we see that we absolutely need federal action. There's no question about it, and we're behind the ball there. But we also need action really at every level. We also need state action. California's been a great leader. We also need cities to take steps, as well as institutions and individuals. It's very important. I'm sure a lot of your viewers have seen the CFLs that are being promoted by PG&E and others. Now Walmart is selling them very inexpensively, and it actually is really valuable for people to look at the opportunities in their own homes to put in CFLs or also do weatherization, double-paned windows. These sorts of things are really valuable, and it can not only reduce pollution, but there are steps that you can take through green building style initiatives to improve indoor air quality as well. And so these are the kinds of solutions that we really want to drive in the community.
Yeah, and that was really playing devil's advocate, the point I was trying to sell that you did so well. We've had 27 states, the last I've heard, that have adopted strategies to protect against climate change, which basically is reducing the amount of energy we spend in a much more simpler. And you're active with your city trying to do it, and many other cities, probably, I wouldn't be surprised, there's 20 cities in our viewing audience, which is San Mateo and Santa Clara County.
Yes, almost 20 cities have signed the Mayor's Climate Protection Agreement, which commits the cities to emission reductions. And one of the great things about this is cities now are looking and saying, how can we look at green building incentives for new development or even going to existing buildings? How can we make the city more pedestrian friendly and bicycle friendly? Make sure that transportation alternatives are there. And these are exactly the sorts of steps that we need to make to also improve the health of the communities. One thing that many people don't know is that if we look at the picture nationally, 50% of our electricity comes from coal plants. Now, coal plants are one of the worst and most polluting forms of energy production we have, and you know it well with your experience with Breathe California, how significant that can be.
Yeah,
going back to your question in terms of what's happening in San Mateo, I live in San Mateo and I sit on what's known as the Sustainability Advisory Committee.
And I'm going to interrupt you at this point only to say I asked Rafael on because I know he's very articulate and great at explaining these issues, and his city's doing it. But throughout the South Bay, cities in our audience, whether it be the Palo Alto area or the San Jose area, are doing the same thing. And so these are examples. And if you're interested, I would strongly urge you to contact your council member or somebody. If you don't have a committee, ask them to do it. And if they do, even if you don't serve, start showing up at the meetings. These meetings are incredibly public, where anybody's ideas get heard.
Absolutely, and it's very exciting down here. I mean, many of your viewers may have seen the green vision that Mayor Chuck Reed has launched here, and as a matter of fact, on Tuesday that will be heard on the council meeting coming up here, and the initiative that San Jose is taking is really illustrative of real leadership that can bring some real change. I mean, Chuck Reed is talking about 100% renewable power, for example, and even if San Jose is not able to meet that, in the 15-year time frame that the mayor wants to meet, even if it's 80% or even 60%, that's huge. I mean, we're talking about at 60% the equivalent of taking 160,000 cars off the road. I mean, we're talking about big gains in terms of pollution reduction and also stimulating really important technologies. I mean, Silicon Valley is already the leader in so many different technologies, and the green wave, of green technology is huge and building. There's massive investment. There are exciting new companies like Mia Sol and Innova Light and Nano Solar. These are companies that are developing the next generation of really exciting solar technology and other technologies like it.
To use a comparative example,